Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to do a little Bible journaling. So, for my prayer time, I've been reading the book of Matthew, and one of my favorite verses that kind of stuck in the back of my head is Matthew 5, verse 13 through 16. And the Lord talks about how, as Christians, we're called to be salt and light. And so I just sort of meditated on that. What does it mean to be salt? What does it mean to be light? And what does it mean to have a calling? And it immediately made me think of superheroes. So to get started and to prep my page, I use a piece of parchment paper or wax paper. I place that right below the sheet that I'm working on, and it protects the rest of my Bible. And from there, I use a blender to apply 2 layers of Dino Wakley gesso. So I learned this from Rebecca R. Jones, and I'll place a link in the description box so that you can check out her method of page prep. It is super awesome, and she's super awesome. So to remove the tackiness from the back of the tape, I stuck it to my hand probably about 10 times, and then I applied it to the page. It did end up not tearing the page, but removing a small layer off of the page. And you'll see that as I start painting. There's some places where the color comes out a lot darker, and those are those areas where the tape pulled up a piece of the page. So for my stripes, I wanted an ombre effect where they would be lighter towards the salt shaker and darker towards the edge of the page. For the yellow stripes, I started with mustard seed, and then to deepen the color, I used fossilized amber around the edge. And then for the green stripes, I used twisted citron towards the inner part of the page and mowed lawn towards the outer part of the page. For the green stripes, I conducted an experiment and I tried Post-it notes instead of tape. And I have to be honest, I wasn't really crazy about that result. The Post-it notes weren't sticky. They did kind of stay in place, but they were really easy for ink to get under the bottom of the Post-it note and to kind of smear. So my yellow stripes were nice and crisp and I was in love with them, but the green stripes, not so much. So in hindsight, I wish I had taken the tape and applied it either more times to my hand or put them on my jeans several times, just anything to make the tape less sticky, and I wish I had used that all the way through. Now it's time for my favorite part. I have just an acrylic block, and I took my Distress inks and tapped them onto the acrylic block, wet my paintbrush, and literally just painted with them like they were watercolors. That's one of the reasons why I like Distress inks. I know they're a little bit pricey, but here's a tip. Michaels takes competitors' coupons, and every couple months they have a coupon where you can get 25 to 35% off of your entire purchase. Oh, and they do double coupons, and if you're a teacher, they always offer 15% off. So between double coupons, taking competitors' coupons, teachers getting 15% off, you can get a really great deal. I'm not sponsored by Michaels, but that is how I buy a lot of crafting items all at once. So like I said, the tape tore a layer off the page. So when you look at the top of the salt shaker and the right side of the mask, you'll see these really dark gray dots. That's where that comes from. When I painted over that section, it settled into the torn paper, and because it wasn't gessoed, it immediately sucked it up, and there was nothing I could do to get it off. So you're probably wondering, come on, Glitter, how did that make you think of a superhero? Well, bear with me, let me tell you. So while I was meditating, I was poring over all of the examples and all of the lessons that we have about what it means to be a good Christian in the Bible, and how the Lord tells us not to judge other people, and how we're supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves. And one of the verses that stuck out to me, and a friend actually sent me this verse, Isaiah 1:17, where it tells us that we are to learn to do right, seek justice, and defend the oppressed. That really stuck in my mind about seeking justice and defending the oppressed, and so that's really what made me think of a superhero. So with all that said, what it means to be salt boils down to behavior, especially right now. Things are so crazy, and as Christians, we're called to stand apart from the craziness. So when the Lord tells us to be salt, He's telling us to be different. That in this sea of blandness, that we're supposed to be the flavor. We're supposed to be the thing that preserves the world, that stops the rotting. We're supposed to be the thing that makes people thirsty and makes them thirst after the Lord. And that's the only way we can do that is through our behavior. So I can't be more violent. I can't be more judgmental and be more restrictive and hateful. The only thing that's going to make me stand apart is being that reflection, that earthly reflection of God's love, showing other people compassion. So when God says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged," I'm going to refrain my judgment. Because to be honest, the only way I can shoot someone who I don't know and who hasn't done anything to me is by judging them. So the Bible tells us we're supposed to love our enemy. We're supposed to show them compassion, that even sinners love someone who loves them. So I encourage you to kind of meditate over this. Like I said, I love Matthew. It's one of my favorite books of the Bible, just because it has so many parables and it shows us what it means to be a Christian and how we're supposed to act and treat other people. That pretty much concludes my video. So from this point forward, I just finished up with lining. 2 years ago, my pastor preached over the properties of salt and what it means to be salt. So I write those bullet points at the top of my page, and I'll leave them in the description box. So if you want to read them, you can go through them. Other than that, I erase the pencil lines, and that is that. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like it, please thumbs it up, leave a comment, and subscribe and all that goodness, and have a great day. Bye.